Morning guys and girls, Mitch of the Bushveld here. Today I'm going to be making some char cloth, practicing some solar ignition and making some lunch. Stay with me. So first things first, what is char cloth? Char cloth is a cotton based material. It's been specially prepared in a fire that takes a spark incredibly easy, pretty much ensuring you surefire in an emergency. Ways that you can strike it is with a good old ferro rod. You can use a high carbon steel knife with a piece of quartz, or you can use a magnifying glass. This happens to be a 6x zoom magnifying glass. Very easy way to make a fire as long as there's sun. Let me show you how we do it. Okay, while that fire is getting going, let's start prepping our char cloth. Here I've got some material that I've chopped up. It's from an old t-shirt. You've got to make sure that it's pure cotton. If it's any kind of synthetic material, it's just going to melt and make a big mess. Easiest way to test it, burn the edges of it. If it comes off clean, it's cotton. If it gets sticky like plastic, then you don't want to use that for char cloth. You can do this in a steel container, or you can do it in tin foil. I'm doing it in tin foil today because I happen to have it around. I've got about 3 layers of tin foil here. It is lightweight tin foil, so if you only use one layer, it is just going to burn through the tin foil. So you want to use a decent sized piece of tin foil, decent thickness of tin foil, or multiple layers. So I'm just going to fold them up, like I'm making a little birthday present. Folding in the edges. We want this to be as airtight as we can get. That should about do it. The one thing that we do need to do is make a little hole in the side of it to release some of the pressure, otherwise we're going to have a big bang. We're going to throw this in the fire and then I'll show you the final product. Now before you even consider starting a fire, you need to make sure that you've got all your materials ready to go. Over here I've got my bird's nest made up of fine grass and some very dry leaves. I've got smalls, which is very small sticks, around about the thickness of a pencil lead. Going up a bit further, we've got sticks that are about the size of a pencil. And lastly, we have our last sticks, which will be our fuel for our fire. Hey, char cloth going in. Hey, you can see smoke starting to come out of that hole. Then we know that that char cloth inside, or the cotton material inside rather, is starting to become char cloth. Okay, you can see that that smoke is getting so hot that it's actually igniting as it's coming out of that hole. Now that all the smoke has disappeared, all the flames have disappeared coming out of that hole, we're going to take it out, let it cool down completely, and we'll see what we got. So for lunch today, I'm making what they call a pressure pack. This is something I learned many years ago when I was still a young Boy Scout. So essentially it is taking vegetables and meat, wrapping it up in tin foil, and slowly cooking it over the fires, well, over the coals. Over here I've got some thinly sliced potatoes, I've got some chopped onion, couple of pieces of chicken, I've got some olive oil, and some spices on the side. So to do this, you first want to put down a layer of oil. Okay. Then you want to pop down some potatoes. You can add carrots, spring onion, wild edibles, anything that you found out in the bush you can add on here as well. Let you do the trick. We can add in our pieces of chicken. Nice liberal helping of spice. This is a chili spice. I like my food hot. A little bit more. And then we can add our potatoes on the top. Don't have to be particularly neat about this. It's all going to get wrapped up anyway. A little drizzle more of oil over the top. And then we're going to wrap this up. Once again, nice and tight. Getting those edges in. It is a pressure pack, so you need to make sure that it's nice and tight. There we go. We're going to throw this on the fire for about 20 minutes. I'm going to show you what it looks like. Well, now that our char cloth is done, time to get lunch in. Going to put the chicken in, potato side down, give it 20 minutes, and then flip it over. In about 20 minutes on this side, we're going to flip it over, cook it for another 10 minutes on the other side, get those onions nicely done, and we're going to open it up, see what it looks like. So it's been about another 20 minutes. Got a little bit distracted with some things around the homestead. Let's pull this off the fire and have some lunch. Okay, so while our lunch is cooling down, let's have a look at our char cloth. Did eat a little bit through the tin foil. Oh yes, that came out beautifully. You can see it went from that white mottled color to this beautiful black charred cloth. This is going to guarantee me fire for at least another dozen fires. Let's have a look at that lunch. Well, here's my lunch. As you can see, those onions are super soft. Chicken's nicely cooked through. Lots of spice. If you like it a little bit more charred, you can always throw it back on the fire. Potatoes, super soft. Time for me to have some lunch. Well, I'm Mitch of the Bushveld. Thanks for joining me today. Making some char cloth, having some fun with some solar ignition, making some amazing lunch. I'm hungry, I'm going to eat. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Catch you on the next one.